do you want?
I want you to take me to the place I saw when I touched this.
Where'd you get that?
I know that you were there.
Disney's new sci-fi thriller about a magical realm, Tomorrowland, opens in theaters this weekend. With his review of the movie, I'm joined by film critic Richard Crouse, and Marcy was just talking to one of the actors, and yeah, pretty big-looking film.
Well, this is a big-looking film because it is a big film. It's a little over 2 hours. Stars George Clooney, Britt Robertson, who we just saw in The Long Ride, starring opposite Clint Eastwood's son, right? So she was in a big romance recently. Hugh Laurie's in here from House. And this movie's being marketed in a really interesting way in that they're really not telling you anything about the movie. If you see the trailers, it doesn't give anything away. You know, the interviews, they're all very cagey. I interviewed Matthew McCall the other day, who is in the film. And it'll be on ctv.ca at some point during the day today. You'll be able to look at that interview. But we couldn't really talk about the ins and outs of the film because they want people to go in with fresh eyes.
And no expectation.
And no expectation. So I'm not going to tell you much about what goes on in the film. I will tell you that it's set partially in the past and partially in the future. George Clooney plays a boy genius who falls on hard times. Britt Robertson is a young girl who has to connect with George Clooney in order, possibly, maybe, to save the world. That's all I'm going to tell you about it. I liked this movie in terms of the way it looks. It's a beautiful looking film. It was directed by Brad Bird, who is probably best known as a Pixar guy. He did The Incredibles. And so he's got a beautiful visual sense, and he really brings that to the movie. Everybody's happy with that. What I was less satisfied with was, after about 2 hours, the way the movie kind of ends up and wraps up. I found a bit naive. I found I found just a little bit unsatisfying. It's a beautiful looking movie. It's a 3-star movie for me, but it didn't make me leave the theater going, I loved that.
Did you love Poltergeist? I mean, everybody loved the original one.
Yeah, and I'm tired this morning because I had to go see a late night screening of it last night. They did not screen it for the press, which is not typically a good sign. So I bought a ticket and went to see it last night when it opened. And this is a remake of the Tobe Hooper cult classic from, I think, 1982. About a young family moves into a house, and the little girl seems to be able to commune with the spirits that live in this house. Same thing happens in this movie. It's been updated a little bit. But you know off the top when the mother character, played by the great Rosemary DeWitt, who's not doing her best work here, says, there's nothing to be afraid of. Well, you know there's things to be afraid of. Except as an audience member, what you have to be afraid of are the crappy special effects, the the complete lack of thrills and chills. This is a movie that should have been called Paycheck Geist.
Oh my.
Good actors, terrible movie.
Did they say, let's get out of here?
Well, over and over again. It's one of those movies that has a lot of scenes that just seem so inappropriate to the subject matter.
Wow.
So you imagine this little girl has been sucked into the house. She's with these evil spirits that live in the house. Cut to the parents. When they realize that the daughter is gone, they're like, well, we can't call the police. The police will blame us. Who should we call? Let's call a Ghostbuster.
Oh, God. Really?
Just doesn't make any sense.
No.
It doesn't make any sense.
What a shame.
It's a half-a-star movie for me.
Half-a-star.
And I only gave it half a star because I gave Paul Blart Mall Cop 0 stars. And I hated that movie so much more. So I gave this one just a little bit more of a pass.
Okay, just 1 or 2 seconds for Welcome to Me.
Kristen Wiig's best performance in a movie to date.
Oh, wow.
Kristen Wiig, after Bridesmaids, could have done anything. She could have been a Marvel superhero. She could have made movies with Seth Rogen, just regular comedies, and made a fortune. Instead, she's gone the other way and done these quirky comedies. In this one, she plays a troubled woman who wins the lottery, wins $86 million, and starts her own television show, which is a very self-confessional show called Welcome to Me. Great performances, edgy material.
Lovely.
It's a 4-star movie.
4 stars. Okay, that makes up for it. All right. Thank you, Richard. Have a wonderful weekend. On our website, of course, you'll find all of Richard's reviews, and you can also watch Richard's interview with Tomorrowland star and Montrealer Matthew McCall.